What's going on back in the world of Dokkan? Now, let me just say before if we could take two important things. One, very important, I do not have coronavirus. So please, CDC, FBI, NSA, CIA, don't come and get rid of me. Don't do the fucking flu removal shit. I'm Gucci. I'm good. I don't know what it is, but it looks like my immune system's better than it usually is because usually every year I get sick. February, my whole family got the flu. I didn't get sick. Now someone had the corona. I didn't get sick. I got a super immune system. Now, second thing, even more important than your health, because everyone knows health, anyone can get health. Everyone knows the most important thing in your life is money. Now, let me just go ahead and show you something that made me very, very happy. Love it. I love it, bro. I love it. I love it. I fucking love Oh, my nut. Bro, Slack, my company, my nigga. 100 shares in this bitch. 43% of my portfolio is this fucking company. I fucking love Slack. I got some calls that I sold. I got some stock that I'm going to hold. God bless Slack. God bless Slack. And what I love is that this is all off the news of Salesforce possibly buying Slack. I don't know if they're going to do that. To be completely honest, I feel like Slack is going to reject the offer unless it's like some super like mega fucking like mega freedom of whatever the fuck they want to do type of thing. I really do feel like Slack is going to tell him to go fuck himself, but anything can happen. So I'm going to sell like half my stake and I'm going to keep the other stake just in case it gets sold and it becomes more valuable in the short term. Unfortunately, with Slack is that they're actually a good company, and because they are an actual good company, investors are afraid to invest with them because they have to naturally grow their customer base. They need to actually make a good product and promote it. They can't just fucking be like Snapchat where they're just all smoke and mirrors and be like, yeah, we're a great company, invest in us. And then people go, oh my god, holy shit, let me fucking buy some shares. I love it. Snapchat probably is like the biggest fucking salt in the wound I've ever seen in my life because I literally that's probably that Uber what else? Uber, Snapchat. What the fuck else? There was a couple of companies that I specifically bought puts for in like June because I was like, yo, these companies are dog shit. They don't deserve to go up. But the market isn't about deserve. The market isn't about what you know. If you want to know like a great example of what the market thinks of and what the market values, go ahead and go look at Palantir. Palantir is a company that has never turned a profit in 17 years. But niggas on Wall Street bets are losing their fucking mind because they're making money and they love the ticker. That's the thing. Some people just invest in the ticker, which, listen, there's no problem with that. I did that. It's fucking retarded, though. So basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that the stock market makes no fucking sense. Like, you literally need to know so much about a business and have faith in that business to basically say suck my dick. If you don't like the company, eat my ass. That's how I am at Slack. Like, I literally hope that everyone that short Slack fucking never gets a share, and when they want to get the share, I hope they come and try to get it when it's fucking overvalued. But with that being said, on to better topic, on to a nicer topic, on to a more chill topic. Let's talk about the United States election and the fraud that was committed. What's crazy is that what started off as people being interested in damn, I would love to keep these guys together just for that link skill. Boy. What started off as like fringe groups basically saying that the election had fraud, the election's bullshit, da da da. Fox News actually lost hundreds of thousands of viewers because they said President-elect Joe Biden. Like, just because they said that, like, viewers got tight and they're like, what the fuck? Why the fuck would you say President-elect Joe Biden when the fucking cases in the courts are still going on? This is bullshit. They all fucking turned into Jesse Ventura. They were all conspiracy theorists. So now Fox News is starting to go back and basically kind of do a little bit more tap dancing for certain viewers to make them feel better about themselves. Let me just say, I am in the firm belief of saying things to make everyone hate me. So if you're a Trump supporter, you would hear that and not like it. Well, let me go ahead and say if you're a liberal who like sucks CNN's dick, to go fuck yourself too. Because I just got done watching a video about how the fucking Iran assassination of one of the top chemists is somehow Donald Trump's fault, and that Donald Trump is responsible for it. Do me a favor, CNN. Stop pretending like you give a fuck. First of all, that's the first thing. Stop pretending like you care. Okay, that's oh damn. He's gonna hit the super attack. Who has the best defense here? Ooh, doesn't really make a difference. Alright, let's do that. And then let's do that. And then let's do that. But they somehow tried to pin Donald Trump with that when it's probably like some either terrorist organization or, you know, hint, hint, a country that doesn't like Iran. Fucking name 1 million of them. Iran said it was Israel. Who knows? Point I'm trying to make is like, how the fuck are you gonna blame Donald Trump for that shit? Like, you could blame Soleimani for Donald Trump, but how the fuck are you gonna blame this on Donald Trump? It's like it's not his fault that motherfuckers are killing each other over there. Either way, the election is done. It pretty much looks like Joe Biden is going to be president. The reason why I say pretty much is because we are a republic, and the Electoral College does decide it, and anything's possible. I mean, it's 2020. Fuck it, the Electoral College could, for the first time in forever, just swing the other way. But in terms of the whole like election fraud thing, it started off with like being like very conspiracy theory based, very like niche, very like, oh, Donald Trump couldn't lose, so let's figure out why he could not lose. And more cases were thrown out of court. More and more things just stopped making sense. And I think now a lot of conservatives are now moving towards like saying like, okay, I think there was fraud. There isn't enough evidence to say that there absolutely was fraud. Thus, then we're just gonna be like, fuck it, we took the L. Like, we don't know what to do, which is fair, honestly. Because honestly, to be honest with you, let's be honest. In what universe do you see Joe Biden beating fucking Donald Trump, unless there's a pandemic going on, unless there is people who for the past 4 years have been saying that we need to get rid of Donald Trump, we fucking hate Donald Trump, we'll take anyone but Donald Trump. Like, if this was Donald Trump versus Joe Biden in 2016, I think Joe Biden would have won that, honestly. People hate Hillary Clinton. Like, that's one of the driving forces behind Donald Trump winning, because people just hate Hillary Clinton. Like, she's so fucking dislikable. But I think that Donald Trump honestly just made a bunch of mistakes this election. Like, he made so many mistakes, like in terms of like certain states that flipped that people like couldn't fathom. Like, for example, Arizona is a very staunchly Republican state, but Arizona is also a state that had John McCain as its senator for years and years, and for like 2 or 3 years now, even after John McCain's death. Fucking Donald Trump mocked, John McCain because he didn't support him politically, said he was a loser, this, that, and the third. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, that's like super uncalled for, especially after the guy's dead. Well, to be fair, I don't think Donald Trump has said anything ill about John McCain since he's died. His supporters do, but whatever. You can't blame Donald Trump for that. Okay, let's move that over there. Anyway, so in terms of the fraud cases, they are, they've gone to court, a couple of them. Most of them have been dismissed completely. Some have, like, basically found certain things that were not correct or not done correctly, where, like, in Pennsylvania, for example, there was, like, some law or some edict that went out that said, oh, okay, we can count ballots a week after the election, and then they found out, like, no, you can't do that, and because of that, they didn't count, like, maybe 40,000 ballots or some shit like that. It wasn't enough to flip it. I just made up the number 40,000, by the way. It could have been 4,000, I don't know. It wasn't enough to flip it, like, if the state was still blue, so, like, Pennsylvania was still won by Biden. Okay, let's do that, and then let's do that, and then let's go ahead and do that. And there was also, like, one thing that was pretty retarded was that in Georgia, there was, like, 2,500 votes that were not counted at all because some dickhead didn't know what he was doing. I think he got fired. But again, like, all these different things, like, these small things, well, not to say they're small. I mean, if I was part of those people that voted and he get counted, I'd be fucking salty. But, like, these things add up to Joe Biden still winning the presidency. Like, no matter what, like, there was enough people that were so sick of Donald Trump. There was enough people that... I mean, like, let's be honest. Donald Trump literally said during a fucking pandemic, I'm not passing any stimulus until after I get reelected. After I get reelected, then we'll pass the stimulus. And it's like, dude, like, people have been dying for a stimulus since, like, fucking May, dude. Like, it's fucking nuts. And by May, I mean, like, they didn't need it in May, but they wanted it in May. That way it would have been ready down the line. But either way, I think that this election is coming to a close. I kind of hope, I kind of wish that people kind of start to go back to what is considered to be normal discourse. Because if you look at politics, it has become all encompassing in the United States. It's weird because I always thought in the past, like before 2016, I always thought people should be more politically active. People should think about politics. People should talk about politics. And to be honest, no matter what, I'll find a way to be miserable. But one thing now, if I had to go back and change that and make it a wish, I would say they have to know politics and they have to be involved with politics. But before that, there's a precursor, and that is they have to be educated enough to form their own positions and opinions. Because there are so many people that literally just repeat what they hear from different pundits, repeat what they hear from even Donald Trump. I mean, there's certain things that Donald Trump has said that were false, certain things that he said that were true, but people just repeat it and just trust him, and they're like, yeah, why not? I fucking trust this guy. And I feel like with Donald Trump as president, it was a weird dichotomy where, like, half the country overly judged him and criticized him, and the other half of the country under criticized him and didn't judge him at all. Like, if fucking Donald Trump took a shit in the front lawn, people on the right would be like, all right, well, you wanted to take a shit, who cares? And then people on the left would be like, this is literally why we have war in the Middle East. Donald Trump caused this. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, why can't people just, like, be normal? Like, I don't know. Like, I really don't understand how people, like, feel a certain type of way where they're so fucking salty and they're so fucking tight that they, like, basically reduce themselves to be like squawking parrots where they just scream at each other and they always try to like fucking destroy each other. Like, that's one thing that's always become, well, not always, but it's become more popular on YouTube especially, is the whole notion of destruction where, like, oh my god, Ben Shapiro owned the lib, oh my god, this person destroyed that person. Like, it's not a conversation. Like, people don't talk to each other. I haven't seen content online where people are like just having a conversation being like, hey, you know, I feel that, honestly, that, to keep it a buck, I'll be honest with you, as corny as Steven Crowder is with certain things, his whole Change My Mind series is pretty, like, decent. Like, he's pretty fair, he's pretty, like, nice, he's not a dickhead about it. The whole point is, like, to go to a college campus and find kids that are triggered and, like, make them salty and, like, get the fucking, you know, spicy shit for the video. But in all fairness, like, he will talk to people, and he's not, like, that big of a dick where he calls people stupid or whatever. But I feel like in general, I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird. Like, I've never experienced something like this where so many people felt so differently about something. And I feel like it's very unfair, like, in terms of the way people talk to each other and the way that people treat each other. Because even, like, recently, I saw something online where Mark Cuban, if you don't know who Mark Cuban is, he's the owner of the Dallas Texans, or is it Dallas Cowboys? I don't fucking know. He's like a billionaire, blah, blah, blah. And he was on LinkedIn. You know, I use LinkedIn to find jobs, and in the middle of it, I'll just see random Twitter posts. Like, LinkedIn literally is Twitter for boomers. Like, it's a bunch of fucking 50-something-year-old people just arguing with each other, saying dumb shit. And he basically said, he's like, anyone else finds it a little bit weird, a little bit odd that the current administration refuses to give up the seat, the presidential seat? Like, they should basically have the transfer power, da-da-da, this, that, and the third. And, dude, you don't know how much fucking hate this guy got. Like, in the comments, so many people are like, Mark, there's currently open court cases, and if you weren't so ignorant, you'd know that. And some guy was like, Mark, just shut up. No one wants to hear your opinion. Talk about business. No one wants to hear this. And then someone's like, why is it that whenever we ask for something to be counted instead of something to be stolen? And, like, it was basically people, like, repeating all those different talking points and basically losing their minds and being super salty. And it was hilarious because the weird thing about LinkedIn is that you see people's real names or fucking where they work, essentially their address, because usually people work where they live. And it's like, it's so weird seeing all these people being so salty and argue with each other and basically call each other idiots, retards, this, that, and the third. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's so weird that First of all, it's weird that Mark Cuban, who's a billionaire, who like has better things to do, has to go to LinkedIn, and he feels like in his emotions where he's like, you know what, I'm gonna make a Twitter post right about now because I want to see how other people feel about this. And then everybody, and here's the thing: at the end of the day, I don't care if people are ignorant or if people are stupid. It's fucking hilarious. The fact that everyone in the comments, like most of the people who had the most likes for telling them to eat ass and shut the fuck up, that is fucking hilarious. You are a fucking billionaire. You own the fucking Cowboys. You basically have all this different like clout. You have all this different success in your life. And what it boils down to is that when you go on the internet and you say something and share your opinion, you're going to get shit on just like everyone else. There's equality online. People will tell you you're a fucking retard, whether you're retarded or not. So that was fucking funny. I thought that was hilarious. Stinky. I don't want to break up this this formation, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And do you think we will survive a super attack? I have 400,000. How much damage can he realistically do? Alright, I'm gonna use this just in case. I have no idea how much fucking damage this guy does. I have no idea. I have no clue. I don't have any ability. But yeah, people are just salty. Since 2016, the discourse has just evolved, and it's basically been just fighting and fucking aggravation. Hopefully people become more, I don't know, fair, more discussions. And by the way, what I'm saying is really based off the shit I see online. Like, in general, people talk politics, people aren't dickheads, people aren't assholes. There are very, like, extreme political opinions, though. And most of the extreme political opinions I've ever seen where I was like, I don't understand how people held the opinion, was on college campuses. And it usually did come from more liberal individuals and people who were more left-leaning. And they usually were college professors. Like, they would say some crazy shit that, like, I didn't understand. Like, motherfuckers would say that Obama was sending more people to Guantanamo to show how, like, Guantanamo is a bad system. Like, the more people they send, the worse it is. There was people that in college said that there's no difference between men and women, like from a physical standpoint. Like, men are just as strong as women and women are just as strong as men, and like testosterone has nothing to do with it and shit like that. Like, weird opinions where like they just fucking like make no sense. Like, I don't even understand where the fuck they're coming from. Like, it's just so weird. Like, it's so odd. I remember, like, it's funny because I brought up Iran earlier, but I'll never forget in 2015 when the United States was entertaining the whole Iran nuclear deal. Before it went to a vote in the Senate, there was like some guy going around on campus who was like asking for like support for the bill, and he's saying, so, you know, call your senator, call your congressperson, tell them to support it, blah blah blah. But he never said the word nuclear, and he never said the word arms deal. He kept saying, like, this is how he worded it, and this is how he said it. He's like, you know, we just want to make our country better. We want to have our own economic freedom. This trade deal will basically allow us to create better jobs, more economy, and we'll be able to basically be more successful. And right now the United States is blocking that, and we really would like to be a part of, you know, the first world and have our own business and da-da-da. And he basically worded it like the United States was like blocking them from like certain business acts and certain things. Like he legit never said the word nuclear, and I knew about it because I'm like, bro, like I'm like, what? First of all, why is this Iranian motherfucker in my classroom? Second of all, like, why the fuck is he like telling me like I'm really gonna email my fucking congressperson and be like, hey, I talked to some guy in my class today. I think you should check this shit out. But he basically like put on a facade and put out like, oh yeah, we're doing this, and dude, all the kids in my class were like brain fucking dead and just ate the shit up. And they're like, I don't get why we like get into people's way. Like, why are we I forgot, some kid was like, why do we like impose this shit on other countries? This isn't right, blah blah blah. And I was just sitting there going like, am I gonna like, should I tell these motherfuckers? Like, do they not know but that like these motherfuckers want to make nuclear fucking arms? Like, and that's the thing, if that's part of the deal, fair enough. And honestly, the United States did agree on it, the Senate voted on it, and then when Donald Trump became president, he vetoed that shit, and that got Iran super fucking salty. That and other things that have, well, basically, the United States vetoed that, and because they vetoed that, Iran isn't supposed to do any nuclear bullshit, but they have been continuing to do nuclear bullshit, and because of that, We have trade embargoes and certain things that have been raping their fucking economy for the past 3 years, which sucks. It's something that I personally, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna bullshit you and fucking be like, oh, all countries should have equal power. All countries should have that. I'll be honest with you. All right. As a United States citizen, I would love it if just the United States had nuclear weapons. That'd be fucking great. But you know, it's one of those things. Point is that the Senate agreed on it, and it's funny because at that point in time, people were basically pressuring President Obama to say like, do not agree to this fucking Senate deal. Show them how our country works, not through executive, because he could have done an executive order. And Obama, honestly, dude, Obama was like a motherfucking like. I don't know if this didn't pass the Senate, if he would have passed it himself. Probably not, let's be honest. You ask the Senate to vote for something and then you pass an executive order. He could have done it. You never know. But then the Senate voted on it, and it was basically say, like, oh, the United States does, you know, acknowledge this. This is fine. And then when Trump became president, he basically said, fuck that. Which is within his executive power. Either way, it's just it's so corny. I'm so done with it. I'm so done. I tell you, bro. There's certain people I talk to, like especially my coworkers. They're very nice people. They're like cool people, but they say some liberal shit where it's like, it's crazy. Like I remember when Donald Trump was sick with coronavirus. I remember some guy was actually like hoping that he would like be incapacitated where he wasn't president, basically implying that he should drop dead. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I would never want any president to drop dead. Like, and like the fact that he said that and he's like, oh yeah, you know, like we want him out of there. We don't want him in power. And it's like, dude, like there is such a thing as like, you know, believing in like, just like basically do the means justify the end. Like, if you, so for example, if you believe in communism and you say communism is the best form of society, let's do it, and then we voted on it and said, you know what, we're communists now, great. Or you did a terrorist attack and basically, you know, went some Weather Underground route shit and basically forced people to become communists. Like, you know what I mean? Those are two different things. That's like during the first Greek period, during the period of Athens, Sparta, and Macedonia, the Spartans had a constitutional oligarchy. The way that they decided to run their society and their government is that they agreed upon having an oligarchy where all citizens were part of the state, all citizens mandatory conscription into the army and had to go and live in the barracks and do certain things. And they agreed on this. This was their society, right? And then at the same time, at that point in time, there was also the Athenian government and the Athenian city-state. And Athenians believed and had the opinion that democracy was the ultimate form of governance, democracy was the ultimate form of society, and that anybody that did not accept this would have to be forced to accept this. It was basically aggressive democracy. Now, you could say, I believe that democracy is better than an oligarchy, but you can't force that on a society. You can't force that on a people. The same way that you can't force certain ideologies on certain people. The same way that fucking China right now, if you're Christian, Muslim, probably Jewish too, they fucking send you to concentration camps and get you re-educated. Like, even if you're someone who hates religion, you can't say, oh yeah, let's fucking do that. That's the same thing with like concentration camps during World War II. It's like, oh yeah, we need to have a better society. Let's just kill all the Jews and then it'll be a better society. Like, you need to know like the measure, the way that you're going to accomplish some things. So like, by you saying, first of all, by you saying that Donald Trump should drop dead, like that, come on, like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, he's the president of the United States, you're really gonna fucking say that? Second of all, even if that did happen, why would you want that to happen? You're basically now saying people are forced with some alternative. Like, that's the same thing where like people want you to like think and feel a certain way about certain political ideologies. Like, one thing that like really is corny on a level that is like beyond cornball is the way that schools, especially colleges, like participate in revisionist history where they'll say certain things but leave other things out. So one thing, the first time I really noticed this is when I was taking a college course called Social Protest. And in the social protest course, we were learning about Occupy Wall Street. And the professor and the course and the rubric kind of structured of saying, you know, Occupy Wall Street was just like the civil rights movement. It was just like a bunch of young people that were organized. They wanted to spread their message and say they didn't want greedy corporations to take over the world. They wanted Wall Street to be the same as Main Street. This, that, and the third. But if you look at Occupy Wall Street, it is one of the most disgusting retard fucking movements you've ever seen in your life. People make fun of Black Lives Matter where they're like, oh, Black Lives Matter, disorganized, Black Lives Matter, not that great, blah, blah, blah. Dude, Black Lives Matter is literally like, personally, Black Lives Matter, I personally don't think it's as good as past organizations like SNCC, but I don't think it's that bad where, like, if you look at the organization structure and you look at the idea behind it in the sense that it's basically, you know, justice for all people, their implementation is a little bit aggressive in certain cases, but the point I'm trying to make is for Occupy Wall Street, they were literally probably one of the worst fucking organizations because one of their slogans was that we don't have a slogan. People would ask them, reporters would ask them, why are you doing this? Well, what do you want to change? We don't know. We just want Wall Street to not be as rich as blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, but what do you want to happen? I don't know. They shouldn't have all that money. And it's like, do you want communism? Yeah. Okay, we're a capitalist society and we have a republic. No, we shouldn't have that. Why? Like all these fucking like, dude, and they're brain dead. Like there's, if you ever want to see, I'll put it in the description just to share it. There's a YouTube channel called Opie Radio from the Opie and Anthony show where he literally just went, damn, he's attacking at the end a lot, man. Fuck. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do this because I'm shooketh. But there's a YouTube channel, Opie Radio, where he basically went to Occupy Wall Street and interviewed a bunch of people, and they're all dumb young kids, bunch of fucking retards. And that doesn't mean the whole organization is dumb, because, you know, like, you know, there's fucking the United States of America, which is literally the best country in the world, when you look at it from a country perspective, and there's people like me that are fucking retards in it, you know what I mean? You can't take that subset and then say that everything else is bad, right? But at the same time, the reason why I mention that is because, like, it showed their larger organization. It showed that they had no slogan. It showed that they had no ideas. It showed that they really weren't doing anything. Like, you want to compare them to the civil rights movement. Motherfucker, the civil rights movement literally organized bus boycotts. They organized voter registration drive. They organized fucking LDF funds, legal defense funds, where they literally, you know, for example, Rosa Parks, where she basically enacted, you know, going on the bus, getting arrested just to go to a court and basically overrule that or try to overrule that. Things of that nature. Like, you got to understand the civil rights movement was, like, amazing. Like, the things that happened during the civil rights movement is, like, ridiculously organized. And if you look at the Montgomery bus boycott, that is a boycott that lasted over a year. Like, fucking over a year, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, over a year, people didn't use a bus. Over a year, people had to organize. People had to come together. Like, that's fucking draining, dude. That's crazy. Meanwhile, you got fucking Occupy Wall Street, where a bunch of kids just show up on a fucking lawn on Wall Street, and they just sit in the park, and they're like, hey, ho, ho, Wall Street has got to go. And, like, they're not saying anything. They're not recommending anything. It's just a bunch of fucking retarded fucking bullshit where, like, literally, there's no... Like, there's literally no fucking, like, no consensus, no drive, no point to anything. It's just ignorance on a different level. But the reason why this is so egregious and the reason why I didn't agree with it is that the way the course was proposing it and like, positioning it, they're like, oh, no, Occupy Wall Street was great. It was just like the civil rights movement. And it's like, dude, listen, it's okay if it wasn't like the civil rights movement. Like, it could be worse. Like, there's no rule that says every movement that comes after it has to be as good or better. And, like, it's funny because, like, the professor would say, oh, yeah, they did this, they did that, and say different things and be like, oh, wow, look how great it is. And, like, during, like, breaks in class, like, I would talk to some of the classmates, and I'd be like, damn, like, Occupy Wall Street seems like a bunch of retards. Like, it seems like they didn't know what they were doing. It seemed like they didn't know what they wanted. It seemed like they were just stupid, da-da-da. Most people agreed. That was the public sentiment amongst the people I talked to. And it was just weird. And the same thing with, like, and I think a great example where this is not even my class, but in general, the way that it's you know, positioned and showed to people, is there was a terrorist group, they were a fucking terrorist group called the Weather Underground that used to bomb city places, prisons, government buildings, and they originally, the way that they had started, their original intention was to bomb a military base where men were stationed in the United States of America and kill them hundreds of people, right? And the only reason they didn't do it is because there was a malfunction with their bomb. It killed 8 of their own people and people in that building. And then after that happened, they said, "Oh wow, this is terrible. We shouldn't kill people." And after that, they decided that we're only gonna bomb prisons. We're only gonna like try not to kill people. And like that was like a fucking a good thing. Like, oh, you know, we're terrorists, but we're not gonna kill people. And it's fucking disgusting that they literally had the intention to kill like America's citizens that were, dude, they were stationed. They weren't at war. They were fucking stationed in the United States. This is a fucking terrorist organization, and the way that they were presenting them was like they were radical protesters. They were people that wanted to get rid of Nixon, and they wanted to stop the fucking bullshit and fucking the bullshit that was going on in the country. And it's like, dude, listen, if there was a period in time in the United States of America where you want to talk about fucking like corruption, you want to fucking talk about discombobulation, you want to talk about like fucking like you really are losing faith in your country, that would be the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War, Nixon literally was fucking the worst PR that you could ever think of for America, because it was a point where Congress and the judiciary, the two other branches of government, looked at the executive branch and said, "What the fuck? You're literally lying to us, attacking other countries, not telling us, running all this illegal shit." And in general, like it was basically a fucked period. And I understand, like, I'm not. And by the way, here's the thing, right? What I'm arguing is, to be honest, like they're a terrorist organization. Now you could say, okay, maybe what they did, you think that it justifies it, because again, there are other terrorist acts that have occurred that have been aligned with quote unquote like positive ideologies. For example, women's suffrage. Before women had the right to vote, they would fucking bomb shit. They would enact domestic terrorism. But no one tells you that. They're just like, yeah, women picketed and they got the right to vote. Yeah, that happened. But they fucking bombed people, bro. Like, no one says that. No one brings that up. They will never say that in a fucking classroom. In college, they won't say it. In fucking school, they won't say it. They just want to keep it hunky-dory, quiet. No, everything's great. Women voted. Everything was fine. Black people held up signs. There were no dogs, by the way. There were no dogs. They just held up signs and they got the right to vote too. It was all great. And it's like, just be honest. Like, if people fucking bombed each other and fucking killed each other for the women's right to vote, that's what happened. That's how it fucking happened. Just like how in the United States, fucking, like, it's like literally you need to, like, present this information. I'm not proud of it. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. It fucking happened. That's the whole point of history, is that you fucking report on it. So it's just fucking retarded. The thing is, like, if you're a student, right, and let's say, for example, myself, right, I never knew that fucking bitches were bombing each other to get the fucking right to vote. Like, when I'm in fucking school and in fucking high school, like, that, they never said that. That never came up. The same thing, like, there's certain historical events in American history that are, like, so egregious that they will never fucking talk about, especially in a high school setting. Like, the fucking bombing of Tulsa, Oklahoma, where literally a group of, it was basically a white mob, decided to get airplanes, cannons, guns, and bomb a black neighborhood, bomb Black Wall Street, and do that because there was some alleged, the quote unquote catalyst for this is that there was alleged rape or an alleged occurrence where, like, a bellhop, some guy who works in an elevator, like, pushed a white woman or came onto a white woman, something like that. So they lynched him, and then after that they said, this isn't enough. We need to go burn down the black neighborhood. And the reason why this even fucking happened is because white people were so fucking racist and hated black people so much that when black people had their own Black Wall Street, their own small economy, their own thing that was working, white people were like, what the fuck? How can we destroy this? How can we get rid of this? And it's like, dude, again, I'm not saying it's a good thing. Again, I'm not saying fucking, say that this is great, look what we did to black people. Just fucking say it. Like, there's no reason why, when you're talking about the fucking, like, I'm gonna transform here, by the way. There's no reason why, when you're fucking, like, talking about workers' riots, you're talking about the civil rights movement. By the way, Tulsa, Oklahoma, this happened in, like, the 20s. This is before, like, the popular, quote-unquote, popular civil rights movement of, like, maybe 40s, 50s, 60s. But even so, like, I should know about this. Like, at some point in time in fucking college, I mean, I learned about it on my own, but, like, at some point in time in high school, it'd be like, yo, by the way, this happened too. And it's like, And it's not to say, like, oh, it needs to be like, oh, we need to know all the fucking terrible things that have happened to black people. It's like, dude, it's fucking history. Like, these are Americans. Like, that's the thing. Like, people, it's disgusting that people will really say, like, oh, I don't care about black people. Oh, I don't care about this, that. And it's like, dude, it's literally on a gigantic level, it's a fucking fellow human being. On a localized level, it's a fellow American. And then it's like, how the fuck are you so fucking retarded where you don't understand that if that can happen to a black person, then that can happen to your dumbass, you fucking idiot. Like, why the fuck? Like, you're literally, like, the whole, like, and it's amazing because, like, so many, like, racist ideologies literally exist to benefit certain corporations or certain fucking, like, hierarchies. Like, if you ever, like, read A. Philip Randolph, he wrote a paper called the black worker and the white worker, where he was basically saying, like, the reason why this whole idea of racism exists on a construction level, where, like, oh, white people get to sit somewhere and eat lunch and black people sit in the dirt and da. And he's like, do you understand, like, we're segregated and, like, we can't unionize, we can't work together, we're weaker when separated, etc., etc. And because he was black, white people told him to shut the fuck up, etc., etc. That's the point. Racism is one of those things where it's definitely one of those things where you're taught, like, your parents are racist, so they teach you, and it goes on and on. But if you think about it, like, it literally makes no fucking sense. Like, it's amazing that because of someone's skin color, like, you feel a certain type of way. Like, you look at their skin color and they're like, oh, okay. Or you take it to a level where you're like, oh, they're from this neighborhood, or they share this ideology, or they vote for this person, and then you, like, create these fucking stereotypes. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, how are you that fucking baby brain where, like, that's, like, a popular fucking opinion? Either way, I digress. I'm getting fucking sucked into a different dimensional vortex. I did the Times fucking event. I don't know what the fuck that time shit was. I honestly don't know what the fuck I just did. I got 35 Dragonstones, though, so that's worth something, right? I guess I'll do one single off the current banner, this fucking L Heroes banner. Whoa! No. I ain't doing a multi on you. But yeah, in conclusion, there's racism in this country. I don't know if you knew of that. There's an election that happened that people are feeling a certain type of way about. Don't know if you knew that. And Slack might get acquired by Salesforce. That's really the most important thing here. That's probably the biggest takeaway. Boom. But yeah, at the end of the day, can't say much. Ooh, 18 and Krillin. My nigga, my man. Yo, my Krillin dicks down 18. Damn, what the fuck? My nigga, dude, Krillin fucks 18. How's that not a super pair? How's that how's... Ooh. It is a super pair. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. We just got Demon Goddess Big Tit Tora. Oh, shit. Oh, baby. Oh. Oh. That's what I'm talking about. Dude, that's what I was about to say. Like, even though it's a single summon, when you see 18 and Krillin, that's gotta be some good shit coming your way. But there we go. We got the featured unit off 2 singles. Not bad. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? I don't know how the fuck... I honestly don't know how anime gets away with this shit. Like, how the fuck is it that, like, you watch this cartoon and you just see big titty bitches walking around? Like I'm 12... Like, imagine if I was 12 right now and I'm looking at this and I go, whoa, wait a second. This is like when you were little and the Girls Gone Wild commercial would come on and you go, oh, shit. What's happening? All of a sudden, you pop your first ride, you go, what's going on right now? Something is wrong. That's crazy. Yeah, that's it. Have a good day. Have a great week. Hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving. Mine was alright. It was pretty whatever. And let me just say, if you are paying attention to the theme of the past videos that I've made in the past 6 months, still interviewing. That's still a theme. I am still interviewing. I did have off this week for Thanksgiving, so no interview prep. Honestly, I did an interview with Amazon, and I'm waiting to hear their answer. I did their final interview. I crushed that fucking interview. If I don't get a job with Amazon after that fucking interview, the economy is just fucked. I'm going to just say that. That or people just don't like me. They think I'm a piece of shit. Either way, I fucking crushed that interview. Them motherfuckers better come with an offer. Otherwise, I'm going to come with a fucking knife and cut myself and start being emo and shit, because that's depressing. How the fuck are you going to fail me when I'm a motherfucking rock star, figure out how to do a goddamn binary fucking tree iteratively, by the way.